Hi, good morning everybody. Stevie here from Never Too Late to Travel. Back here in Bangkok this morning, a little bit rainy and a lot of humidity around this morning, so suffering a little bit. Discovered this place purely by accident on the internet last week, and I must have passed this place 100 times on my way to Asiatique, which is an entertainment venue on the side of the Chao Paya River. Now this place is the Protestant Cemetery, and I never knew of its existence, and I had a trawl around on YouTube, and I only found two small clips of videos. One was by a Russian guy, and the other one was by somebody from a news channel, I believe. So completely unknown to me. Thought it'd be very interesting to come down and have a look. It may be a grave concern to some people in the expat community. I've just had a look at the notice board, and if you wish to have a plot here, it will cost you between 105,000 up to about 125,000. And the information is there on the notice board about to contact the relevant people. So let's have a walk around, and I'll show you what's here. Very, very peaceful gardens. And as I said, it's called the Protestant Cemetery, but if you look in front of me now, you'll see some Jewish graves. Now in the early 1900s there was no place for burying Protestants or Jewish people, so what they did, the king at the time decreed that this parcel of land be given to the Protestant community for those that wish to be buried. So we're going to see quite a few different graves around the area. Some of them are from the early 1800s, and some go up to the late 1900s. We'll have a look around and I'll give you a better idea of the dates as we go around. Unfortunately a little bit wet this morning, so really can't trawl our way through the grass without absolutely getting soaking wet. Weather hasn't been particularly good in Bangkok this week, to be honest. Here we have a grave of Hamilton King. He was the extraordinary envoy and minister of the United States of America, and he was born in St. John's, Newfoundland in 1852. And he died in Bangkok, Siam, which was the name previously for Thailand, on the 2nd of September 1912. So if you are thinking of being buried rather than cremated, and you want to consider being laid to rest here, I'm sure that you'll have some fantastic company. Some of the graves now getting a little bit overgrown, which is a little bit disappointing. There is a grave there to Ralph G. Hook, who was the major in the US Army, and he was from World War II, born in 1917 and died in 1991. Really nice peaceful area of Bangkok, and quite a lot to see in this small parcel of land. Another grave here of Dr. J. Williams. He was born in 1883 and died in 1954. And this poor chap here, unfortunately, Dr. Percy Listener. He was born in 1906, but he was killed by a car in Saigon in 1955. What a sad way to go. As well as the Jewish and the Protestants, you'll also observe that there are some Chinese graves here for the same reason I gave you before. There was nowhere dedicated to bury them at that time. Some of the graves are very, very elaborate, I must admit. Somebody spent a lot of money on them. But it's a shame when they don't keep the grounds up to a reasonable standard. You pay a lot of money to be buried here, and you know, they could actually keep it up. I did research some names on the internet and found some very interesting people that are actually buried here. But as I say, I can't really see any of the names that I read about, which is a little bit disappointing. But having said that, they're probably at the back there where it's very, very wet, so not easy to find them. If you look around the graves here, you can see how much water is just seeped in around. Nice little peaceful shaded spot to be laid to rest in. Two Jewish graves there. Grave there of a lady called Sarah Sleeper. She was born in 1812, and apparently she was the wife of the Reverend S.J. Smith, and she was a missionary here in Bangkok. I will try and have a walk a little bit around the back for you to see if we can find some more interesting stuff. As I say, the ground is pretty well waterlogged, so not easy to navigate around. This is the gravestone of Daniel Beach Radley. He was a doctor of medicine. And at the side of him is buried his wife, and I presume both of them were born in New York. And there is some information there about Dr. Beach Radley. Sadly it's all in Thai. I can't really tell you what it means unless there's something on the other side. Yes, there is, so we're quite fortunate. So Daniel Beach Radley was credited with contributing significantly to Thai society through his role as a Protestant missionary of Siam. Born in 1804 in America, and accepted as a missionary physician by the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions. And in 1834, along with his wife, he came here to Siam, which is the previous name for Thailand, and he purchased a printing press for use by the mission in Singapore on his way out here. His united mission worked with the introduction of modern medical practice into Siamese society, and his greatest medical achievements were the development of a safe smallpox inoculation. What a fantastic thing that was to do. Some of the older graves here have sadly gone to a bit of ruin, and they're not cared for. Some of the ones here with the brick surrounds and the slab tops, they're in very, very poor condition. So let's have a walk around and see what else can be discovered here. I'm sure if you researched on the internet and trawled through some of the names, you'll find some very, very interesting stories. This venue here would be a very interesting video for Bangkok Pat to elaborate on. He likes the history of Bangkok and the surrounding areas, and I'm sure he could get his teeth into a lot of stories of those that are buried here. So if you are watching this Bangkok backpack, there's a nice suggestion for you to produce a decent video. There's another gravestone. Unfortunately I can't really read it, but it's an Englishman from Plymouth. Grave, guy born in 1900, died in 1959. I think that one he was buried with his wife. Some of the older graves, unfortunately, I can't read the inscriptions, they've actually worn out. But some of them, like the angel holding the scroll on the pillar, very, very elaborate. Sadly, some of the inscriptions have weathered off. And this elaborate grave here is Charles Gordon, as far as I can read the inscription. And what a lovely little plot this is, and very, very elaborate tomb at the end. I'd like to have known a little bit more about him. I can just see that he was probably born in London, died at 72 years, 32 years. I'm sorry, I can't really make out how old he was when he died. It's very, very weathered. But what a lovely place to come and sit, and obviously somebody's taking care of it. They've got these nice little parasols above the seats there, and you can come and pay your respects and just chill out in a nice peaceful area. What a fantastic garden this is. To be honest, I've never heard of this place before, and I've never heard of anybody mention it, to be quite honest. There's in memory of George James Bush in the service of His Majesty the King of Siam, and the monument erected, I believe, maybe by the Siam royal family at the time in recognition of his service to the country. Obviously somebody who really enjoyed music is buried there. Another interesting grave which is slowly subsiding, of a gentleman I believe called Paul Rose. He was born in Lübeck, and I believe Lübeck is in Germany. I really like this grave at the back there, Pebworth. But the inscription, I don't know if you can read it here from here, but I'll read it for you. There's a picture of a skeleton sitting under a weeping willow tree, and the inscription says, "Have fun because time flies, and before you know it, it's over." Now, how true is that? What a fantastic tombstone there for somebody who was obviously well respected. Now this one is a very, very elaborate, can't really call it a tomb. I suppose one could call it a tombstone of sorts, but this was given to a chap by the name of Alabaster, and he did a lot of work for the Siamese royal family, and he was involved in a lot of the construction activities in Bangkok when he was here. And obviously on his death he was respected by the Siamese royal family, and they built this fantastic monument to him. Now, how fitting is that for some years of service in the old Siam? There is a little bit of an inscription outside, and I'll try and read a little bit of what it says. It said he built modern roads and bridges, including Cherian Krung Road, Bam Rung Muang Road and Phuang Nakorn Road. He taught the Siamese the modern surveying methods, and he established the first museum in Thailand, taught subjects on telegraph and telephone, and co-founded the Thai Postal Service, amongst many other things. Very interesting guy, and obviously very, very well respected. And the tombstone that I read the inscription of, on this side of Pebworth, it says, "Cursed be that move my bones, mourn not my death but celebrate my life." Now, how fitting is that? Some more Chinese and Jewish graves here at the back. I will show you where the Jewish cemetery is located if you are interested. I can't really see close enough without going down and probably getting soaking wet. I think this is a newish grave that I've discovered here. Yes, it's a grave to respect the life of Ebenezer, I believe, and this guy was born in 1925 and died in 2013. So really, that's not many years ago at all. Some more interesting graves here at the back. I don't know what this monument is, but it's in memory of the deceased members of Club Concordia. Now, I've no idea what that relates to at all.
you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Excellent.
So the cemetery here, it backs onto the Chao Paya River, and you could probably imagine before this retaining wall was built that on occasions it would flood probably quite badly. Even since I've been here, the water has probably risen by ½ a metre, which is quite high. But having said that, we've had a lot of rain in the area. Storms of the remains of the typhoon that crossed Vietnam, I believe, a few days ago, or maybe a couple of weeks ago. I'm entirely not sure at the moment. One of the barges there going up the Chao Paya River. I don't know how these small tugs pull the weight actually, but I suppose once they're underway it's not too bad. So we'll have a little bit of a walk around here and then we'll make our way out. Just a few more headstones to see. So we'll slowly make our way back to the outside world. I was just talking to a gentleman. He obviously has something to do with the cemetery, but I didn't actually ask him what. But I was talking about the retaining wall at the back of the cemetery and how it's potentially holding back some of the spillover from the Chao Paya River. Apparently it used to flood quite badly, and a lot of the people came and removed bodies and moved them elsewhere. In addition to that, the other information that he gave me was that the Jewish cemetery, which I'll show you on the way out, is up by the gate here. That is getting rather full now, and they're developing another one in Sao. So maybe if you'd like some information on that, you probably need to have a look and troll the internet. This is H. Alabaster, died 1884. Now I rather suspect, I could be wrong, I'm open to criticism and comment. I believe this is the tombstone for the wife of Mr. Alabaster, who has the elaborate tombstone that was provided by the royal family of Siam at the time. I could be wrong, and I stand to be corrected. Always happy to learn things. Well, some of the guys must have listened to my comments now, because they're actually starting to make the grave areas a little bit more tidied up. It was very, very overgrown in places, as you can appreciate, and it's not good to see graves left in this condition. So this is the notice board here at the entrance to the cemetery, and you'll find all the relevant contact details here, and some information about the royal decree of the ownership of the land, etc. I wanted to find the grave of this guy here called Captain John Bush, but sadly I didn't see it, and I'm led to believe that somewhere in Bangkok there is a soy called Soy Captain Bush. I may have the wrong name, but I'm sure that is correct. A little bit more information. Come up guys and have a read yourself. Don't know whether you can actually read this. It's hidden behind the post a little bit. There are mobile numbers of the committee that actually run this cemetery. Obviously there's an email for a resident engineer that you can contact, and by the look of his name he looks to be European. Again, could be wrong. So just as we leave the gate here, just immediately to the right, this is the Jewish cemetery, and it's now getting full, and as I told you a few minutes ago, they've been allocated another piece of land in Chatham South. So my friends, I really hope that you've enjoyed our little walk around this unusual place here in Bangkok, and I found it a very peaceful and relaxing place to just be in for half an hour or so. If you are new to my channel, please leave likes, and if you enjoy the content and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.